Hey class, good morning. How's everyone doing today? Great. Okay, well today we're going to learn how to skip count. We're going to learn how to skip count by 2s, by 5s, and by 10s. Now that we already know how to count, can anybody tell me how to count from 1 to 10 really quick? Yes? Okay, good job. Okay, well now we're going to be able to count faster, and we're going to be able to use it for multiplication, maybe just like the big kids, okay? Okay, so now that we already know how to count from 1 to 120, we're going to be learning how to skip count by tens. And it does sound a little bit difficult, but if you pay attention today, you're going to learn so much, and you're going to learn how to count. Okay, so I need everybody to take out their 120 chart, please. Everybody should have it on their desk. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and place it here so everybody can see what I'm doing. And this chart is going to be very helpful when you're counting. Okay, so everybody has their chart, right? When we count 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we look at the end of the line, of the first line of the chart, we have, what number is that? 10, right? Okay, so this is going to be our number 1. So let's go ahead and circle it. Okay, and then our next one, what is it? 20? Okay, let's go ahead and circle it with me, please. Okay, and then the next one, 30. Okay, and what do you see? Okay, here you see a pattern, right? Okay, what kind of pattern do you see there? Okay, you're adding a 0. Good job. Okay, that's a really nice observation, because that's one tip that's going to help you. That's one tip that's going to help you count by 10. So you just keep adding, right? You keep adding the zeros. So the next one is 40. The next one, 50. Next, 60. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come over here to my count by 10 side, and I'm going to put our first tip to help us. It's going to be to add a 0 to each number in order, right? So add a 0, okay? And if you see here, we can see a set of feet. And how many toes do we have? If we are barefoot and we look at our toes, how many toes do we have? Can anybody count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Okay, so that's one person. That's me with 10 toes. So if we bring our other buddy, Anthony, come over here. Okay, how many toes do we have now with me and Anthony? 20, right? Because 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? Okay, and then if we call our other buddy, Samantha. Okay, so now it's 10, 20, and then the next one with Samantha, 30, right? So we see the same pattern here. It's the same pattern. So we can also, another good tip would be to look at our toes, right? And just next buddy, right? Okay, and one last tip that's going to be very helpful is if we look at our chart. If we look at our chart, at the end of the line, what's going on? It's skip counting by tens, right? So if you just be circling, those are all your answers to skip count by 10, okay? So I would just be here, I would just put our last one to look at our chart. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the 5s. Who here likes sports? Okay, what's your favorite sport? Basketball? Okay, I love basketball too. And what happens when you end the game? Okay, the people leave, but what else? That's right, you give high five to everyone to tell them what a good game they had, right? And when you high five them, how many fingers do I have? 5, right? And then if you go to your next buddy that you played with and you high five them, it's 10 now, right? And then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So then it's 15, and then you keep going and going and going. So let's go ahead and erase our chart really quick. Erase it on yours also, please. And we're gonna go ahead and circle the first one, which is the 5. And then what did you say the next one was on the hand? A number 10. So we're gonna go ahead and circle the number 10. And then if we high five our other buddy, 15. Okay. And then 20. Good job. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and put here our helpful tip would be to look at our fingers. Look at fingers. And add each time we high five. Okay, and one other tip that I have for the 5s is if you look at your pattern, at your chart right here, right? Are you looking at your chart? Okay, we had already circled these 4. And then if we circle this one, is this counting by 5s again? Yes, right? So what's going on here? Just like the 10s, what's going on here? There's a pattern, right? You can see the pattern on this line and on this line. So we can also use our chart as look at chart for pattern. Okay. And our last one, since we already know how to count, skip count by 10s and by 5s, the tools should be super easy, right? So one thing that, that we can always use is our eyes. How many eyes do we have? 2, right? Okay. So if we look at these, this can be one person, and then if the other person comes, it's going to be how many eyes? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4, if you add 2 more, it's going to be 5, 6, right? So let's go ahead and erase our chart because now we're going to circle the 2s, the skip counting by 2s. Okay, so like we said, how many eyes over here? 1, 2, right? So it's 2. And then over here, 3, 4. So we circle our 4, right? Okay. 5, 6. Okay. And then 7, 8. Good job. Okay, so one tip would be to look at our, well, we can't really look at our eyes, but we can look at our buddy's eyes. And at each other's eyes, right? Okay, and then one last hint for the 2. It's something very, very simple. If we look at our chart, it helps us. What can we see here? Okay, what's happening here? They're just skipping one number, right? So if we stay here at 8, and then if we cover the next number, we're gonna circle the next one, which is 10. And then 10, we cover the number 11. What's next? 12. And then cover 14, right? Good job. So then what's going on? You're just covering the next number, and then the next number you see, that's skip counting by 2s. So we can just cover one number, right? Great. So now that we already know how to skip count by 2s, 5s, and 10s, I'm going to go ahead and leave these notes for you here so you can come back just in case you need them, which I don't think you will, but just in case. And I passed out a handout for you. Since it's Valentine's this week, we're going to go ahead and fill out this handout all together. Okay, so we're going to have 3 different centers like we always do. On the first center, we're going to have the skip counting by 2s. And we're going to have these pair of eyes, right? And these pair of eyes is going to help you to fill out the first line. So in the first center, you're going to be able to fill out all this first line. And then on the second center, you're going to be skip counting by, what do you think? By 5s, right? And by 5s, there's not going to be any supplies or anything like that. But what do we have to count by 5s? Our fingers, right? So we're going to use our buddies in our group, in our centers, to count by 5s. by adding each other's hands. So we're going to be able to fill all of this out. And then on the last one, on the last center, we're going to be filling out the counting by tens. So I'm going to put I'm going to put your feet, a pair of feet with your toes, obviously. And you're going to be adding the toes to go ahead and fill out the last line, which is the 10. Okay? So I hope that you can use all these tips for later on in the week or even later in life. What did we say it was important? Why did we say it was important? Yes, because you can use it for multiplication later on when you go to 3rd grade, 2nd grade, or 3rd grade, right? And then also, you can count faster, right? Good job.